Vandana joins us in Washington, D.C. Vandana, how can we help?
Hi, yes, on Friday we closed on a house, and because of this market, we were very fast to just buy it because we had to. And I just regret it. Even when we had like the 3 days HOA clause, I wanted out, but my husband really wanted to just go ahead and get it. And so I just kind of did it so we wouldn't fight. And ever since then, I've regretted it. And we closed on Friday and have cried every single day since then. I feel like we made a mistake.
I'm
so sorry.
Tell me, tell George and I the specific things you're regretting right now.
Well, I mean, we had to move so my daughter could go to school because we live across the street. It's like the stupidest district. And we wanted to do it so she could be in the better school. She could be with her friends and everything. And she has some special needs, and this school has, for the school that for her to be able to go to for middle school has more of the programming that she needs. So we did it for that.
No, I understand. But listen, that's a good thing. What are you specifically regretting?
I just feel like it's a little bit... I don't know. I just feel like we made a big mistake. We're going to have to spend so much money fixing this house, and it's going to be more of a mortgage. And, I found out my husband took out a HELOC to pay for it, and I found out all these things financially as we were doing it, and I wonder if I just did it so we could. I found out my husband had a $50,000 personal loan that I didn't know about. I thought we had paid off all our debt besides our student loans.
Oh. I'm so sorry, Vandana. It sounds like there's some financial infidelity on top of the weight of an impulsive home purchase here.
Yeah, and so he did the HELOC, which I learned about as he was doing it, and now that I've learned more about HELOCs and listening to you, I'm a little bit scared because that's what we used to pay for this house. And, we paid off the personal loan from the HELOC too, so we could close on this house. And now we can definitely, it's not that we can't afford this house now because all the debt is gone. But I don't know. It just feels like this is the house.
Sounds like we robbed Peter to pay Paul here. We just kind of moved the debt around.
Exactly.
Vandana, George is going to walk you through this, but here's what I want, okay? You need to just focus right now on less emotion and start plugging in some numbers for George, all right?
Okay.
So I'm going to get us started, okay? What's your household income, and then what is the mortgage costing you? Give us those two numbers.
So our household income is $250,000 before
taxes.
Before taxes.
Fantastic.
So he brings
What's the
home
mortgage?
like $12,700 to $900 a month.
What's the mortgage, including the HELOC? So all that together, what is that?
I don't know, including the HELOC.
How about just the mortgage?
Okay, just the mortgage.
Just the mortgage is about, including like HOA and taxes, it's about $4,500.
Okay. So if I'm doing the math here, you're looking at 34% of your take-home pay.
Yes.
Is going into. So now that's higher than what I'd like it to be, but it's not killing you. Like you said, you guys can afford it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the emotion is coming from the fact that you're learning a lot of things you didn't know because your husband lied to you.
Yeah, I think so.
And yes, you did impulsively get into this house, but that's not the bigger issue here. The bigger issue is that you and your spouse need to get on the same page and go, we're married, there are no lies in this relationship. And so I think that's going to be your A1, is not fixing the house problem, it's fixing the relationship problem. And that might look like counseling. That might look like going through Financial Peace University together on top of that. But we got to get to the root of why he hid these things from you.
I think he was just ashamed because before he had credit card debt and I sold my condo, and literally I gave him every single dollar out of my condo. I was a teacher. I quit working during the pandemic so I could homeschool my child, and I haven't wanted to go back because for the few months I did teach, I was so stressed out, and I went back for a little bit this year, and my anxiety went up. I wasn't sleeping, nothing, and I had to be put on anxiety medicine. Just teaching these days is just so difficult, and I just couldn't deal with everything. And I thought we were out of debt. I thought we were completely out of debt because when I found out about the credit cards, I had a condo that I had
Oh, my goodness.
purchased.
I'm so
Vandana,
sorry, Vandana.
We are so very sorry. But as George said, I want you to walk away from this to say, hey, you and your hubs, just so you get on the same page. If you had some shame, take the shame away and just say, hey, can we get on the same page? I'm feeling a tremendous amount of anxiety and fear over this. You guys know how to pay debt off. Start attacking it just like you were starting all over again. You guys can get there. House isn't going to fall in on itself. It's going to be okay, but you guys have got to get on the same page relationally so that you can get on the same page financially. David is on the line. David, how can we help?
Hey, Ken. Hey, Jade. How you doing?
What's going on, David?
Just a quick question, or it's kind of based on careers like you were talking about. So I recently got a great opportunity at another company back in April. I was actually really happy where I was, but they weren't quite paying me what I knew I could make with my my education that I have and the experience I have, because I have a Six Sigma black belt. And so this other company gave me a call, offered me $27,000 more a year to come join their team. So of course I did give my employer at the time, the opportunity to make a counter offer. They couldn't match, so I ended up joining the new team. Things were going really good, but then we had some management changes. So long story short, now I'm kind of working as let's say like a warehouse analyst. What I do is I just kind of track orders and why we're not getting things to customers on time. And the thing is, like, now I really don't have any purpose there. I just kind of find out what's going on every day and, let them know what the problem is. And I don't have a problem working for bosses that are younger than me, except the one I do work for now is he's 9 years younger, and he has a lot of experience, a lot of development left in him. And HR was actually hoping that I could help develop him. And you really don't want to take any.
So David, I feel like you're kind of dancing around the issue.
Yeah.
And I think you're trying to be really nice.
Oh, yeah.
And I hear two issues, but I really want you to tell me, what is it that you want help with today?
I just don't know what I need to do with my career anymore. It's just I don't feel any purpose.
Yeah, you took a higher paycheck and you got no purpose. The good news is I wrote a book called From Paycheck to Purpose, and I'll give you that. I promise I didn't put him up to that, folks. That's not a paid plug. But the issue is now we got to figure out what we want to do. And then what you're bringing up is adding insult to injury, and the injury is there's no meaning in your work. You got no juice,
right?
Is the way I like to say it. And so now you're going, on top of that, they want you to mentor a kid, and you feel like, why am I doing that? I don't even like what I'm doing, and then I got to help a guy who's younger and more inexperienced than I am. And so it's just creating this frustration. Am I right?
Yeah, it's and the other thing is, like, he doesn't really want to take advice from me.
But here's the deal. That's a non-factor. You don't want to be there, correct?
Yeah, you shouldn't be training your boss.
Yeah, this is a disaster.
That makes zero sense.
So we need to come up with an exit strategy. That's really why you called, right? Hey, Ken, help me get out of there, but help me figure out where to get to. Am I right?
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
You would say so? Do you have a couple of ideas of what you would like to do? I mean, you were doing something before.
Continuous improvement. I mean, I love teaching people how to make their job easier.
Okay, but you're not getting to do that in this current role.
And what's that?
You're not getting to do that in this current role, correct?
No.
All right. Were you doing that in your previous role?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a term for folks like you or people that could be you, which is boomerang employees, where they go back to their previous employer. Do you think that's possible?
Their market, they're RVs, so they're actually at a downward spiral right now with the economy. And
okay, so that's not what I'm asking. You don't want to go back there. It's not. Is it possible? So you don't want to go back there. So the good news is we're going to go back to your previous job and we're going to say, okay, this is what I love to do. I'm essentially leading But the way that I lead is that I want to be instructing, coaching. That's what I heard in what you said. Is that a true classification for what I think you said?
Yes.
All right. So where can I do that? And it's less about the industry. It doesn't sound like to me there's a certain industry or a product or service that you're fired up about. It sounds like to me you want to be in a leadership position, and the work you want to be spending most of your time on is work where you are guiding, instructing, mentoring, coaching. So that's the job description. And it may not say it that way, but you got to dig into it in the interview process going, okay, this is my style of leadership, and I want to come in and this is how I like to lead. And so for you, it's an open field out there. You're not sitting around scratching your head on this. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
How are you feeling right now? What's your confidence level?
Well, when you put it out that way, I think got a lot more confidence.
There it is. What did we do there? We got clear. So, David, you got to stay in a place of clarity. All right? That was a setup question. I was prepared to deal with it, Jade, if he said he was not confident, but I thought he would be more confident, and he is. And the reason, David, that you're confident, and I'm reviewing this because I want you to get off this phone call, and here's what's going to happen. When you get off this phone call, Jade, I can tell you that fear and doubt will present themselves in the days ahead. Fear is I am worried that something bad is going to happen. Doubt is I don't believe that something good can happen. David, hear me, my friend. When fear and doubt pop up on your shoulder, you've got to go back to this initial conversation right here, and you've got to say, here's what I know. I am good at leading, coaching, instructing, and guiding people. Is that a true or false statement?
It's true.
It's true. Now we're going to move to I love guiding and instructing and leading people. Is that true or false?
That is true.
And then we're going to say I am motivated to help people win professionally and personally. Is that a true or false statement?
Absolutely.
All right, so what we did, Jay, we just walked through talent.
Love it.
What he does best, passion, what he loves to do, and then mission, what motivates him. So, David, we retreat back to clarity when we are confronted by fear and doubt. And when that happens, now you go, okay, I know why I'm leaving. I know why I'm going over here. And then that will give you the confidence to press forward. And, Jade, here's the best part. There's 3 C's. Clarity leads to confidence, and confidence leads to courage.
You're preaching, Ken.
Uh-oh.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Victor is with us in Irvine, California. Hi, Victor. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hi. So 3 years ago, me and my wife was buying a life insurance policy from our father-in-law. We both make a pretty good income, but essentially we're like 3 years in now, and I know we've maxed out our 401k, our Roth IRA, but I was talking to my father-in-law, and he essentially said it's like a good tax-free investment that we can do with our custom whole life policy. And since we already maxed out our 401k and our Roth IRA, and we even bought a house recently, we're just not sure if that's like the best way moving forward to put our money in, at least with our extra money. So that's our situation.
Victor, you've been married 3 years, you said?
Yeah, we've been married for about 3 years, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're in your mid-20s, I assume.
Yeah, me and my wife are both 27, so we got married around 24.
Okay. Well, I have to give you full disclosure here, okay? I have been trashing whole life policies and people who sell them for 30 years as being one of the biggest possible rip-offs in the financial world. So if you say Dave Ramsey to your father-in-law, his face is going to melt off.
I know. I was afraid of bringing that up to him.
I would not suggest you do that. Uncle Dave would suggest you don't do that to yourself with your father-in-law. I don't think there's anything to be gained by that. So basically you have a guy in your life that loves you and that believes in these products. You have a guy on the radio that loves you and says these products are crap. And so now you've got to decide as a grown man with your grown wife what you guys are going to do and then how to navigate that decision. I would never recommend that you that you buy something or do something because when you're a grown person because your parents said you had to keep them happy. I would not do that, okay? But I would also not recommend that you damage your relationship with your wife's father. I would want you to be kind and honoring and really avoid an argument if I were you. Okay? I have family members, for instance, that I've been married for 41 years, Victor. I have family members that vote the wrong way.
Oh, my gosh.
They don't know how to vote. They pick the wrong party, and they're just dumb about it. And I love them anyway. I love them anyway.
We have family members that have credit cards and that.
And I don't create at Thanksgiving a political argument with people who aren't going to change their minds that I love.
Or a financial argument.
That I love. Or a financial argument.
Yeah.
I don't give financial advice to people who don't ask for it. And that includes everyone, family included. People who ask, I will tell you.
So for Victor, talk through the different why you don't like whole life insurance as an investment.
He knows. He already knows why I don't like it, don't you?
I know that you mentioned that like the return over like 30 years is minimal.
Yeah, it is. And when you die, the money that you have in there is gone. They only pay the face amount. And there is no such thing as a whole life policy that is tax-free if it actually got a rate of return. It is tax-free because the only way you can get your money out is to borrow your own money. And honey, if you go over at the bank and borrow money, they don't charge you taxes on that either. Right. So, of course, it's tax-free, but it is not a tax, and it is not a good tax dodge. It is not a good investment. It is not a good product. But now you can research, a bazillion things that we have said about that, and then you've still got this deep, horrible relational problem. And I would recommend that you just be kind. If you decide to not use this product, which of course is my recommendation, I would recommend you don't get into an argument with your father-in-law about it. I would just say, we've looked at it, and for us, we've decided to go another direction, and we sure hope, adult to adult, that you'll just respect our decision, even though you think I'm wrong. And I want you to respect my decision. And so, I have a friend who's so stupid that the other day he leased a car. And he's even dumber than that. He drove the car to my house to show it to me. Okay? But I didn't talk to him about car leases. I just went, hey, my friend has a nice car. I'm going to be happy for him. And he's happy about his car. Yeah. And he didn't ask my opinion. And so I'm not going to just go adult to adult. I'm going to celebrate his adult decision, even though he did a nice thing in a dumb way. Right? I mean, I can still be friends with the guy.
100%.
So I want you to be kind to your father-in-law.
I think the biggest thing is going to be, it could be, I don't know your father-in-law, but if this is what he does for a living, it's a shot to the ego. I mean, right? Is. I mean, if he believes in it so much, like if what we teach you believe so much that if we can't, it would be a hard thing to say they're going to go a different direction from what I not just believe, but the work I do. So just be prepared for that. And you and your wife need to have a lot of conversations, Victor. And
She's really got to be in this.
Yeah, and just really dive in. And you guys have to say, okay, what's best for us? And find the facts, because the facts is what's going to prove it to you, Victor. And you both have to be on that same page and say, okay, this is what we're doing. And I totally agree with you. Keep it minimal. I mean, just say, hey, I think we're going to pass.
Your wife has to be able to just look at her dad and
which
smile.
Which will be hard.
And smile and say, I love you, and we're going a different direction.
Yeah.
Dave,
and so, I love you.
And we're going a different
direction. But I'm going a different direction.
All right. That's the thing. You're announcing something on the air?
No, but it's, this is where the relational factor of it is just, it can be messy.
Yeah.
But it's also a great practice, Victor, for you and your wife.
You've got to learn to do this anyway.
That's right.
Over other things.
Yes.
Because, they're
otherwise,
they're going to interfere when you get ready to name your first child. They're going to interfere when you get ready to buy your first house.
They all do it out of love.
And I know they do it out of love. They do it out of love. Don't pet me. I don't interfere in your kids' names.
No, you don't. That's why
that would be Mimi that does that.
We don't tell our kids' names until they were born.
Because you'll get a Mimi eye roll.
We hand the baby to the grandparent and we say,
don't name them Moonbeam.
This is
That's all I request. No hippie names. That's all I request. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Bobby is with us in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Bobby. What's your net worth?
Hey, Dave. It is $4.6 million.
Good for you. And break that down for me. How's that broken out?
You're probably not going to like this, but I've got $1.5 million in cash in the banks. Real estate 1.4 and investments around 1.7 million.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with a guy with a $4.6 million net worth if he's got some cash sitting around. So you are heavy in cash, but that's so 1.7 is in investments, mutual funds. Sir. Okay. All right. Cool. How old are you?
I'm 53.
Okay. Cool. And how much of this 4.6 is there because you inherited it?
Not a penny.
Zero.
I created it all.
Gotcha. And what has been your career field in your working lifetime?
I was with a supermarket chain for 22 years, left that, and opened up a real estate company. Been doing that for about 23 years now.
Okay. So real estate and supermarket. All right. Cool. What's your degree in?
Do not have a degree.
Okay. And
hard work.
Gotcha. And what has been the range of your income, like your worst household income year and your best household income year over your, 25, 30 years of working?
Oh, well, you want me to include the supermarket on that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say probably the worst, $32,000.
Mm-hmm.
The best, $453,000.
Good for you. Okay. So real estate's been very, very good to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well done.
I've been good to it.
Yeah. Well, you own a bunch of it. How much of the 1.4 is in your home?
My own home, probably about $550,000.
Okay, so you got close to $1 million in investment property then, and
yes, sir.
that alone would make you a millionaire, something like that. So, what advice would you give the 25-year-old version of you?
Well, for me, I'd say stay away from the credit cards. I got in bad trouble with credit cards when I was about 21, and had to consolidate everything and make payments for 5 years once a month, and that broke me from using credit cards. I still use them, but I pay it off every month. Also, one thing I did, and I learned this a long time ago, write your goals down, what your goals are, and I actually taped them to my bathroom mirror so I could see them every
Where did you make them?
afternoon.
That's awesome. Where did you make the most of your money?
Real estate.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so how much of that is there because you borrowed money? Did you borrow money to do those real estate deals?
I did not borrow a penny.
You bought it all cash. Look at you.
Yes, sir.
Wow, I love it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you've been are you a real estate broker as well? Is that what you do for a living?
I am. I own a real estate company, and I've got 28 people that work for me.
Awesome. Look at you. Way to go.
Yeah.
How many nonfiction books do you read in a year?
Maybe one or two.
Okay. What's the most important book you've read, not one of mine, in the last 5 years?
Last 5 years, most important book, well, The Game Change. That's a political biography, but I enjoyed it.
Okay, very cool. Good job. Well done, Bobby. 4.6, man. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love talking to people who are winning. Yeah, it can be done out there, guys. It can be done. And so far, nobody's inherited their money. So far, no one stole their money. So far, none of them are world-class athletes. And most of them don't have high GPAs. Maybe regular people can do this if they did the right stuff. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. by Xander Insurance. Identity theft protection isn't a luxury in today's world. It's a necessity. Get yours at Xander.com.
I found you guys in 2020, and after paying off all my debt, I'm now on baby step 6. I've been dating the same woman for 4.5 years. She's absolutely amazing. I love her to death. The one thing we struggle with is money, and we pretty much see it kind of opposite. We're getting to a point in our relationship where, you know, we're heavily discussing marriage and what all that looks like. And we're kind of in a spot where, you know, I try to help her as much as possible and as much as she wants me to, I guess, to set up budgets and stuff like that. And it just never works out. You know, she always goes way over budget or whatever. And if we were to get married, like she would sell her house and move in with me, and the profits from that would pay off all of her debts. She has about $65,000 in debts. So it's not really like a concern from that aspect. It's more just, I guess I'm scared to move forward with someone that I've never seen can stay within a budget. You know, and I'm worried that it's the number one reason people get a divorce. I'm worried about becoming a statistic because we fight about money all the time.
Can I ask this, Robert? Is she not being able to stay is she not able to stay on budget because the budget's not realistic for what she's set up? Or is it that she truly spends more than she makes and she's just says that's just how it is?
Yeah, she just spends more than she makes. I mean, she brings in more money than I do, honestly.
What does she spend it on? And what's she doing?
These days, it's not if your identity gets stolen, it's when. So you need ID theft protection from Xander. They monitor your personal info proactively and alert you of any suspicious activity, including home title fraud. Then Xander takes care of everything, including up to $2 million of stolen funds protection and white glove service to help you get your life back. Plus, kids are covered for free on their family plan. Call 800-356-4282 or go to Xander.com.
What's she doing? Shopping? Vacations? Like what's...
Yeah. So like in her every dollar, you know, she's got a food category that's supposed to be $600. Last month she spent $1,100. And then like her shopping, you know, it's supposed to be, I think, $400, and that includes even like unnecessary fun purchases that, you know, everyone has to have. But instead she spent like $900. You know, she's a mom of 2. She wants to get a mommy makeover. And so like in her head, she's justifying, well, if I can pay off these 2 debts, that's payments equal what the mommy makeover payments will make, then I can do it. But she's never once made like that extra debt payment to even pay those debts down. She's more of like a, you know, you got to spend the money that you make to have fun kind of thing than I am.
It's interesting to me that you started doing this stuff in 2020 and you've been dating her 4.5 years. So you met her about the same time. So I met her. So she's watched you adopt all of these things.
Correct.
The more you got engaged with the stuff that we teach, she's watched it. She's had a front row seat for the whole thing.
So I was debt free by the time I met her. I started January 1st as a New Year's resolution, and I met her December 4th. So within that year, I was out of debt. So she never really saw me aggressively attack debt, but I still live the lifestyle. Like I still budget every month. I still, you know, so she's seen that lifestyle and where it's gotten me. And she doesn't have like the mental mind. Like I see things in numbers and statistics. I'm a spreadsheet nerd. She's the complete opposite. But
yeah, I'm not asking her to be a nerd. I am asking her to quit being immature and just buying stuff she can't afford. And I just deserve it. I just want to get it. And so I'm just going to get it. I mean, she doesn't tell herself no, ever. The category breaches you talked about, the purchase breaches you talked about, those are all, I just look at it and I'm going to do it anyway. Like that, like there's a sense of entitlement or immaturity or something there that's bothering me in this. I can't tell what it is exactly. So what would we do in this situation? You guys have got to resolve this before you go forward. Not necessarily she has to become the nerd that you are, or she has to stay on a budget, but whatever the core issue is that she's struggling with here, immaturity, entitlement, because you can't just, she's not acting like an adult in the sense that you can't just spend $900
right,
when you say, I'm going to spend $400.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to figure out with.
That's weird.
Is she not budgeting correctly? Because there are some people that are like, oh, I'm going to make.
Well, then change the budget.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But this sounds like it's above that. It's like that she could live within the numbers that she set. Correct? Like she has to mathematically.
She makes enough money to pay to do it right. She just chooses not to have any boundaries for herself.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hearing. So what would I do? If I were in your shoes, I would say, look, we have to resolve this and get aligned on it to go forward, because it's not going to, you're going to have a long life, because you're going to think I'm just picking on you all the time. And I don't want to be the bad guy in this all the time.
And it's a value standpoint.
I'm not going to sign up for the bad guy role.
Yeah, and it's not, again, we've said it twice in the call, but I think this is important for couples to hear. You're not trying to form her into you, right?
No.
Because I'm the free spirit. As you're speaking, I'm like, oh my gosh, that would so be me if I wasn't doing the Ramsey plan. I am. I'm just a spender, emotions. I'm like, yep, we're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy. But having to learn a value system of boundaries, a value system of living below your means, a value system that stuff is not going to make me happy. There's a contentment issue there as well. Like all of these things are values, where I still month to month spend more than Winston, my husband, because I am more of a spender than he is, but it's in the budget. So
that's easy, because Winston doesn't spend any money.
Yeah, he doesn't spend a lot. So. But it's like the idea is, again, it's the values that we agree upon, not the personality trait necessarily. But if we can't have boundaries and limits to our money, and we keep going over and over and over and over and over,
that's a problem.
Then there's an issue there, Yeah, and even with debt, I would say debt's a value system. That if you are uncomfortable with living with debt, that it gives you stress, the risk of it, it's not worth it. It is. I want the autonomy, and she's completely okay with it, and it's totally fine to live by my means, and I'll live on credit cards and just try to pay, the minimum balance every month or the minimum payment. Then again, there's a value system there that will be really excruciating to walk along life with. And this is your partner, right? Like when you get into a marriage, like this is the person that you're gonna make all these decisions with, and that should be fun and it should be enjoyable. This is someone that you don't want to constantly be picking apart and adding stress, right, to the relationship. And that's what these big issues, money is one of them, but you could throw in-laws, you could throw in parenting. I mean, right, there's all these other issues, but with money specifically.
Yeah, like you would tell the kids no and she won't. That's how this is going to translate.
That ruffles feathers
that's how
for sure.
Going to translate. So here's what I would do. I would schedule a pre-marriage counseling session. And I would sit down with the counselor and tell the counselor on the phone before you meet with them, with her present, that the pre-marriage counseling session will have failed if you can't help us get aligned on these subjects. Your job as in pre-marriage counseling is you have to give the counselor instructions. Okay, I am not moving forward in this marriage unless we can get aligned on these things. Mm-hmm. And so your job is to guide us through that. If you think your job is to make me okay with her being off the rails one way and me being off the rails the other way, I'm not going to be okay with that you failed as a counselor. Because sometimes counselors will do that. It's all okay, because they don't see it the way that we're. So you need to give the
counselor will dig in and understand
a good one.
Yeah, you need but you know the root of it, because so much of who we are in our existence, the good, the bad, the ugly, comes out on how we handle money. And
exactly.
So there's things in there, right? And I would say for extreme
family
savers,
of origin.
Yeah, and extreme savers, right? There's a level of hoarding and control issues that come from people that are, and people call this show, and they're so anal, and you're just like, oh my God, chill, you're okay. But they're so wound up on that side, and that's unhealthy. Right. But then being on the other far side where she is, that's unhealthy. And so getting to that place.
Give the counselor some instructions, and the instructions are, you are to help us get aligned. If you can't help us get aligned, then we're either going to call it or you've failed in your counseling. We are not leaving your office with you saying, oh, it's okay. That's not an okay thing for the counselor to think, because sometimes pre-marriage counseling is a bit of a rubber stamp. And you don't want, that's what I want you to, I want them digging in on this. I want you to dig onto this, and y'all find out what's driving these things. And that way you don't turn Ramsey into a cuss word in your new household. The best ID theft protection is from Xander. They not only monitor, they help you get your life back. Go to Xander.com to learn more. Dan's in Kansas City. Hi, Dan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Well, Dave, I am in a quandary.
Okay.
My wife and I married each other.
That's always a good thing to do.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. It's thank you very much. We got married. It'll be 2 years in July, and both of us have never been married before, but we had dated a long time. Since then, we've been looking for a home here, and these prices have just gotten insane. And what we're having a major disagreement about, and I mean a major disagreement about, is how to pay for this. She said that when we got married, now this is a conversation that I don't remember all of the particular details, but she said that our original plan was that she sells her house. I sell mine, of which I already have, and I moved in with her in her place, which already has $100,000 worth of debt. I married $100,000 worth of debt, too. So she also says that we agreed before we got married that I would sell my farm property, which is a quarter section out in western Kansas, that's been in family hands for 130 years. Now, I don't exactly remember that part of the conversation, but I know that when we sell that, it's going to involve capital gains taxes, pretty substantial ones. My accountant says somewhere between $40,000 to $50,000 combined, federal and state. So I proposed to my wife that we keep the property, still buy a house, because we can cash flow with the wheat sales about another $500-600 worth of payments above and beyond of what we do now. Then we take the Milo money and we bank that for the next 5 years, which is when I plan to retire. And then we'll have at least that money to pay most, if not all, of these capital gains taxes. And then we sell the property at that point and retire the mortgage. She says, no, sell it now and, then buy something cash. What do you think?
So I'm hearing that either way the property's sold, it's just a matter of now or 5 years from now.
Well, unless we can find a way or buy a property that we can, because she's agreed to come up with
Let's stop a second, because this property, you outlined a very emotional thing that's been in your family for 130 some odd years.
130, yeah.
Yeah, so, all math aside, and even marital arguments aside, are you going to sell this property ever?
Well, at some point, because she has no children and I have no children. We've never been married before and we have no family.
Really? None of that enters into it?
Yeah.
Well,
it's going to leave the family. You're saying it's going to leave the family when you die anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So why not go ahead and enjoy the fruits of some of it now? What's it worth if you sold it now?
Around $300,000.
Okay. All right.
And what's wrong with your wife's current house as a place for y'all just to stay?
Well, it's a 2-bedroom townhouse, and it has one bath, and I've shared. I love my wife dearly, but I've shared a bath with her. for almost 2 years and have not enjoyed the process.
Okay. So you guys, what's the townhouse worth?
Townhouse is worth about 180, 190. And with her, with all the, we've had our...
What is owed on it? Is anything owed on it? 100,000 owed on it?
About 100,000, yeah.
Okay. And so it's going to clear about 80, and you got about 300 over there. And have you got money left over from the sale of your house also?
110.
Okay. All right. And so you could buy a $200,000 property and pay cash for it.
Well, we could, but you can't get really much in Kansas City, or particularly in Johnson County where we live. You can't get much for 200.
Let me flip this around. What's the alternative? You've created this, what I would say is a highly complex, and I moved here from a farming community, a complex, the grains have to hit, it has to rain right, we've got to get the subsidy in. You've laid out a complex matrix for 5 years from now. We could X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Why not? I mean,
that's some gymnastics.
Life's a lot simpler. Just sell it now.
Yeah. And a capital gain sounds like a distraction to me.
If I didn't have all this other stuff in this conversation, I would tell you to sell the property now, pay the capital gains, sell the townhouse, and go buy a property that both of you love. Now, what's bothering me about that is that the two of you, after 2 years, can't. Two old dogs trying to learn new tricks, working together, is tougher than two young pups doing that. And so I'm a whole lot, I'm 90% concerned in this conversation about the fact that you two can't resolve this argument, and I'm only 10% concerned with how you resolve it.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point that she's even saying you said things you don't remember saying. That's weird.
Well, she's a pretty powerful personality, and there are times during our long relationship, dating and married, that I have found it more, and I might have agreed to that. I don't, my memory isn't
what
that.
You're saying is you caved.
Well, I have found that sometimes it's better, or at least in the short term, it's better to placate her than to keep trying to resolve the issue.
Okay, that's my problem. Okay, John, help me here.
Yeah,
because my problem is I don't give a rip if you sell the farm or not. But the problem is if you sell the farm and go do exactly what she wants, this is going to come up again.
Or if you lie to her in order to get through a conversation, all you're doing is kicking the can down the road for a larger explosion when it happens. And now you've drawn lines, and the part that you've drawn battle lines. I've got my plan. Well, she's got her plan, and man, this just doesn't end well. It ends unnecessarily bad, particularly if both of your plans end up with selling the farm. And so I would love to see you circle back to her and say, all right, so I've never done this before. I've never had a marital spat like this before with 130-year-old property. I'm asking for a mulligan. Can we start the conversation anew? What do we want to look at? You're talking about she brought into debt and I married it. Y'all are all on the same page. You're just having to practice doing life together after a long time of not having to do life together. Expect there to be stumbles. Be curious about them. Don't get angry and frustrated about them. And always circle back and say, hey, we need to do this one over again. And this is when y'all need to do over again. Because what you're fighting about is, do we want to have a pretty nice house for the rest of our life just to ride or die with until this thing's over? Which could be a lot of fun. But if you get bogged up in the mechanics of how we're going to get there, man, then you're just
If you get bogged up in
silly.
My wife, I caved, and she held me to it. And I sold a 130-year-old family property when I didn't want to, just to make her happy in this house. Then the first time she whines about the wallpaper, you're going to go bananas.
You're going to burn the house down out of spite.
I might know somebody that did this, so I'm just telling you, okay? I've got this friend, right?
I've got this buddy named Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, so you guys need to work on the relationship part of this, and then the actual mechanics of how to do the deal will be a whole lot easier. That's what's scaring John and I. We're looking at each other while you're telling all this.
Courtney joins us up next in Jackson, Tennessee. Courtney, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help today?
So I'm like super upside down on my car, and I am in baby step number 2, and it's actually my highest debt. But it's causing me so much trouble. Not the vehicle, but the payment itself. It's just outrageous. So I'm trying to figure out what to do as far as, my vehicle goes.
How much do you owe on the car?
I owe about $32,000.
Okay. And what is it worth right now?
$18,000.
Oof. How did it get to this point? What did you buy the car for?
After interest and stuff, it was $49,000.
So you paid $49,000 for it. What was it worth at the time you bought it? You think it was worth $49,000?
I don't remember. I want to say it was like 35 or so, and the interest is what's like got it all messed up.
What's your payment and what's your interest rate?
I pay $688 a month.
Oof.
Yeah, it's rough. The interest rate is 15.12%.
Why did you get such a terrible interest rate?
Honestly, I'm not sure, because this was the first vehicle I ever financed. And after that, I got other debt. But before the car, I had like $3,000 in student loans, and that was like all that was on my credit.
Oh my goodness! What's the term for this? How long is the loan for?
6 years.
6 years.
What kind of car is it?
A 2018 Volkswagen Tiguan.
Okay. How long have you had it?
8 months, and that's how low the value has gone in 8 months.
It's gone down that quickly, or do you think you bought it a little too high priced?
Maybe I bought it, but I was just thinking, wow, it's decreased in value, I guess.
Who sold this car to you?
The dealership I work for.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it like a coworker that's a friend, or how did that happen?
Yeah, it is a friend, but I don't work in the sales department. I work in the service department. But yeah, it was a friend, and I'm not sure, if they
have
were
you
trying
talked to them about this?
I have.
What did they say?
And I think that pretty much they're telling me, at the time, the market was just so messed up on cars.
Have you had any frank conversations with them, asking kind of what was the value of the car when you sold it to me?
I haven't, but that is a good idea. I'm actually on my lunch break right now, so I could do that when I go back in.
There's no way that car was worth $49,500 when you bought it, which is how much you're paying with all these payments.
I know. And actually, it was $55 after I put I did get all the warranties and things on it. But
how long have you worked?
You can return that warranty, right, and get some money back out of this?
Yeah, I could return the warranty.
How much would that give you back?
Probably about maybe $5,000.
Okay. And how much money do you have in the bank?
I have about $2,000 in my checking account, and other than that, I just have $1,000 for an emergency fund.
Okay.
How long have you worked for this dealership?
About a year now.
Do you feel like in general they typically have pretty good integrity?
Most of the time, yeah. And my coworker, he's actually a friend of mine, and
my friends don't screw me over at 15% interest.
That's what I was thinking too. Is I feel like I've been screwed over on it, and financially, that's a big.
I want to know how much this guy made off this deal.
Yeah, probably a lot. And I'm 22, so I'm not trying to be stuck in this for 7 years.
Ooh. Okay, so the $18,000 value that you say your car has, is that from Kelley Blue Book? Is that somebody at your job that said that?
KBB.
Is that private party or trade-in?
Yes, that's private party.
Okay, I'm going to still do some more homework and research every single place that buys used cars, and that's online, that's local dealerships, to see how much you could get for this. Maybe even try listing it and see if you can get more for it.
And this may not be the best advice, but if I'm in your shoes, I'm going to my boss and I'm saying, here's the situation. How is this car that I just bought 8 months ago for this price now worth 18? And kind of walk through the situation with your coworker. Because my hope is that as your employer, there's some sliver of heart there that maybe they'll even consider buying it back from you
at a higher rate.
Right, closer to what you paid for it.
Right. Yeah.
There's going to be
could
stupid
definitely
tax
do
on
that.
this either way. The only other option here to get out from under this thing soon is if you went to your local credit union and get a personal loan for $14,000 to cover the difference.
Right.
And now you're $14,000 in debt instead of $32,000 in debt at a much lower interest rate.
And I have other debt, but it's $7,800, and I could pay that off pretty quick. But I'm thinking long term, like, oh, well, it's going to take me years to get out of debt with this car.
Where'd the 78 come from? Because I thought you said you only had $3,000 in debt when you got the car.
Well, I had $3,000 at the time, and this was a stupid decision. But after I got this car, I started getting all these things in the mail, like, oh, you're approved today for this and that and this and that. And at the time, I was just like, oh, yay, extra money, and I took out a personal loan, but I've never done that again. I've learned my lesson because the interest rates on them are outrageous, and I actually had like a $2,000 loan that ended up being like $4,500 overall. So,
well, I'm assuming that you've had your "I've had it" moment, that you're done with debt.
It, yes, I've had it. I'm too young to be stressing about this. I've got goals, and I'm like, no, I'm trying to get out of all this while I can.
Heck yeah.
Well, start ripping up your mail, and if it says 0% or if it looks like free money, run as far as you can, because there's no such thing as a free lunch.
There is no free money. I learned that the hard way.
They are not your friend. And by the way, this dealership is not your friend.
Yeah, I've thought about that too.
What are you making at this dealership?
I make about $50,000 a year.
Okay.
Do you have any credit cards right now?
I don't. I actually paid. That was my number one baby step, or in the baby step number two. The first thing I did was pay off a credit card. I owed like $288 on it. I paid it. I called. I canceled, and I'm out of the credit card situation.
Okay. So this $50,000, is that your only job? You've got one job right now?
I do only have one job. I've been searching. I've been listening to y'all, and a lot of people are talking about like DoorDash, and I've been considering doing like a part-time DoorDash job, just something to get a little more money to try to pay it off faster.
Yeah, you can also look into grocery delivery services like Instacart or Shipt. You can even try Amazon Flex if that's in your area to deliver packages on your own schedule, and you can make some good money doing that.
Well, and it's like,
write that down. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. And right now with where you're at, I know you're mad that like you're in this situation at 22 years old. Like you said, you've got goals. You need to get out of this. So I want you to take that anger that you feel and that frustration and just channel all of it into doing everything you can to get rid of this debt. I want you working 60, 80 hours a week. I want you cutting back to the bare minimum, eating, as cheaply as possible. Like, we have got to go scorched earth on this.
Yeah, for sure. And I have been. I've got the app that you guys talk about, and I've been budgeting. It's just like I was just trying to think about the long run and what I could do about my car.
Well, see if you can talk to the dealership and go, hey, listen, you guys screwed me on this deal, and I work here, and that is not cool to treat an employee that way. So here's what I'm asking. Trade in this car. Give me the crappiest car on your lot to get me out of this situation. And if you still need to go take a small personal loan from that credit union to cover this mess and get out of this thing, then do that. And then we're attacking the rest of the debt while driving this beater car until it's all done.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm down to drive the beater car, whatever it takes to get out of
Good.
This situation.
And stand up for yourself, Courtney. Don't take crap from these guys. And I'd be leaving this dealership as soon as I'm out of this mess because I don't trust these people.
Josh is with us in Dayton, Ohio. Hi, Josh. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, Dave? How you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Well, Dave, I have a little situation, man. I keep hesitating on the budget, and just the guy that you were talking to, Max, I'm like, oh, my God, every word he's saying about anxiety is me. Here's what I got. I have $44,000. I think it's about $44,000 total in debt, $30,000 in student loans, $14,000 to the IRS. I have about $7,000 in cash, and 2 vehicles that's paid off, and I'm renting, and my rent is $350. I need help.
Okay. And are you single?
Yes.
Why do you have 2 cars?
Over the course of a couple of years, I bought them in cash. I have a LaCrosse and a Trans Am, and I've heard you before, and I got in debt a long time ago and paid off a Mustang I had, and I said I'm not going to do that again, so I just paid cash for them.
Yeah. So what are these cars worth?
The LaCrosse, it's nice, it's decked out and all that, probably about $5,000. And the Trans Am, it's a drop top 98, probably about $7,000 to $9,000.
Yeah, it's kind of a collectible. Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. And what's your income, sir?
About $45,000 to $48,000.
Okay. All right. Well, I always put the IRS at the top of your debt snowball, and they would be no exception here. Do you have them on an installment plan on payments?
I have nothing. I just got a letter probably about a month or so ago. I had missed a couple of years of filing taxes. I had a guy that got over on me about $8,000, and I got a letter, and I didn't know what to do at that point.
Oh, so you don't. The $7,000 is their estimate because you've never filed.
No, their estimate. No, I have $7,000 cash.
I'm sorry, the $14,000. The $14,000.
Yeah, $14,000 is what what the letter said about 13.4.
Yeah, but that's not reality. That's just their guess. They just guessed.
Because I filed this year, and the previous 2 I didn't. So I guess they took the 2013
exactly
taxes, and so
exactly. And that doesn't. The problem is you've got to file anyway.
Yeah.
And so your first step is to jump online and find one of our endorsed local providers for taxes in your area and go down and get your taxes filed. And then you'll find out what you really do owe the IRS. You might only owe them $10. I don't know what you owe them. Their guess is just that. It's a guess, and it's not even a good guess. It's the IRS guess.
Right.
You might owe them more. I don't know. But you probably owe them less, is my guess. And so I want you to, scratch everything together, get with a tax professional, and get all of your tax returns filed and current. Failure to file is a criminal act. Failure to pay is not. So you do not want them tracking you down on failure to file. You want to get filed as soon as you can. So that's the first
I'm current right now, so
I'm sorry?
I need help. And I'm current on them right now. That's
you did file them. You've already filed
them this year. Yes.
But you filed this year, but did you file the other 2 years?
Yeah, I had an amendment where I had all of them together, and I filed this year.
Oh, I thought you just meant you filed this year and you didn't file the other 2.
No,
I'm sorry.
I ended up getting all the information and ended up filing at the beginning of this year.
Okay, is that what created the $14,000, or is that their guess?
That's what I'm thinking. Yes, that's the letter I got about a month and a half.
Well, when you filed, it should have had a tax number on it that was owed.
Well, it said it had 4,000 because of my dependents of last year. That's the only thing I had at the time. So I'm thinking they added that because I remember it was an $8,000 bill that I seen years later earlier. But I didn't know
but you have your tax returns for the last 3 years have been filed recently. Those actually have a dollar amount on them.
Okay.
And if that dollar amount doesn't total 14, then there's a problem.
Okay. So what do I do with the baby steps?
If it totals 14, you're going to give them this 7,000, 6 of this 7 immediately, and get you at 1,000, and then you're going to start paying them big chunks as fast as you can, and get them out of your life.
Okay.
They're your number 1 item on your baby step 2.
Okay.
And you just get them out of your life. Number 1, to start with, they are your smallest debt, which is good news. But number 2, it's a freaking IRS, and you want them out of your life. The penalties, the taxes, interest rates, everything, and the power that they have with the IRS is just not something you want to mess with. You get your taxes current, you stay current on your taxes. It's too expensive to do otherwise. So just that's the first thing. That's going to give you a lot of peace. And then we start tearing into the student loans as fast as we can. And then you're sitting there looking at that Trans Am going, do I want $9,000 worth of this stuff gone, or do I want to keep this car and fight my way through it? Either one's okay with me, but you just need to ask yourself that question. If I had $9,000 in the middle of the kitchen table, would I throw it at these debts right now the way I feel anxious, or would I buy a Trans Am drop top 98? I might, because that's a pretty sweet car. But I might also just clean up my debts and then pick me up a car later. Now, has that car got any sentimental value other than the fact it's really cool?
No, I love it, man. It's a drop top. I grew up, my granddad had two, and so I always wanted one.
That's what it was. You just wanted one. But it wasn't like your first car when you were 16 or something like that.
No.
Yeah, I'd probably dump it and get me one later when I've got some money. Right now, you're a broke guy that I was the IRS, and you don't need to be collecting cars. That's probably what I would do. Now, I've got some nice cars, but I didn't have them when I was broke. And I added them to the stable later on once I got myself under control and got some wealth. And so, yeah, I'm probably dumping that thing. And let's get the IRS out of your life and then start working on Sally Mae, give her eviction notice. Hold on, I'm going to send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, to help you do all this stuff. This is The Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Let's go to Adam in Cincinnati. What's up, Adam?
Yeah. My question is, I was recently fired from a job, kind of went into panic mode, decided that I'm going to pull from my 401k and pay off my credit card debt and then use the monthly, payments that I'm making to those credit card debts to roll over into a car loan and then use the remainder of the 401k to pay down the car to try to get out from underneath that.
What made you feel like that was your only option?
We have a fairly large house mortgage. I make majority of the money for the income for the house. We had enough to maybe make it a month and a half, and I didn't know when I was going to go back to work.
Are you working now, or?
I have a job that should start Monday, so everything should return to normal as far as, the inflow of money.
Good. What will be your income at that point, household?
Our household income's right about 135 to 140.
All right. And how much debt do you now have total?
So I've got I'd say we probably got 8 in credit cards and probably 20 in a car.
And what about the 401k loan? Or did you just withdraw money?
That 401k I was very little into it. I completely emptied that one.
How much was in there?
There was 26 in there, and I ended up with like 14 is what it was after taxes and penalties.
Oh.
So what'd you do with that money? Have you already blown through that?
No, it's that I haven't actually got it yet, but my plan is once I get it,
Adam,
is this reversible?
Can you stop and call and cancel it?
I don't think so. I think
I would do everything I can. Say I screwed up. I got fired. I freaked out. I need to cancel this. I do not want this. Please take it. Please do not send this money. Do whatever you can. Okay? This is a fear response. A bear showed up at your cave. An actual real bear scares you to death, and you ran as fast as you could. And like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, you just bammed your head into a rock in the cave. Okay.
So this wasn't my only retirement.
No, I know. I'm not saying it's your only thing. We're not all that. I'm just saying you don't need it, my brother.
You took a 50% hit on this money, and
you don't need the money.
You didn't need it. You have a great income.
You started another job on Monday. Things got really scary. You panicked. It happens to all of us. Now you know in the future, hey, I need an emergency fund. But with your salary, you can pay off this debt in short order, man.
Is it 28 total now in debt between the credit cards and the car loan, or is there other debt?
Well, I have a home mortgage too.
Okay, so we're going to ignore the mortgage for now. We're going to focus on this consumer debt. Let's pay off this credit card first. And how quickly could you pay that off? Making 140. How quickly could you pay off $8,000, going scorched earth, throwing everything you can at it?
Probably 6 months. I don't know.
6
I'm terrible
months
with a budget too.
Okay, we're going to hook you up with every dollar to get a plan for this money. You're making 140. Are you taking home 8, 9, 10 grand a month?
Yeah, between me and my wife, yeah, probably.
Okay, so if we started looking at our expenses, going outside of just covering our bills, putting food on the table, we're not eating out, we're not going on vacation, we're not investing, you could pay these credit cards off within 2 months.
You got to get serious, though, dude. And you're like, you got to get real serious, man. We can't want this more than you do.
Hang on the line. We're going to send you EveryDollar Premium. Start making a plan for your money. You've got the income. You don't have to do stupid anymore. You're working hard for it. Now let's do something good with it, which is pay off this debt, get an emergency fund in place, and start building wealth the right way.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hey, I really need your help. I need your help with my financial discipline. I moved back home this year, and my parents told me that I have this year to fix my finances. I make $105,000 a year, and I'm totally in debt, $121,000 in debt. They're allowing me to pay a rent of $400 a month for the rest of the year for me to get back on my feet.
What's the debt, man?
What is the debt of?
Yeah.
It's $8,000 in credit card, $37,000 in an auto loan, $57,000 on student loans, and $19,000 in a line of credit.
What'd you buy with the line of credit and the credit cards?
So the line of credit was to consolidate my debt from my divorce, because I got assigned the debt because I made substantially more than her. And then the credit card debt is just debt that I've been carrying for the last probably 10 years.
When was the divorce final?
5 years ago.
Okay. And so you've not done anything about cleaning up the mess from 5 years ago yet?
I have not. And that's why my discipline has just been absurd.
When did you buy the $37,000 car?
So that was actually even worse. What happened was I actually bought a $72,000 car, and within a month I realized that I wasn't going to be able to afford it, so I took it back to the dealership because my monthly payment was going to be $1,400 a month, and I was able to get into another Mercedes that was I could roll that negative equity to, which was $56,000, and so far I only owe $36,000, but my monthly payment on the car is $800 a month.
So that you owe $37,000 now, and the car is worth what today?
It's probably worth like $20,000.
Where'd you get that number?
Just kind of what I've been looking to see if I could resell it and get out of it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And your question is how to have financial discipline?
Yeah. How can I get my ducks in a row to be able to pay this off this year while I have the advantage to just live at home? I have a girlfriend that I'm pretty serious with that I want to start a life with next year, and she has an 8-year-old kid. So I want to be financially prepared. Right now, I don't know if my debate is, should I just save this year to get like $30,000 in savings and then start tackling my debt next year? Or if
I think it's time you start tackling this debt. I mean, that's why your parents let you move home. With the sole purpose of you getting your crap together and getting this mess cleaned up.
And they told me this is the last year that they would do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got, and so what you need to do is work all the time. Like more than you work now. Like you make $105,000 40 hours a week, right?
Yeah, I'm salaried. I can't get overtime.
I didn't ask you to do that. I want you to get another job.
Go throw boxes. You're not serious about this yet. You don't need a hack, bro. You just need to do it. What has kept you from doing this? I get a year after a divorce, man. Those are messy times. You make dumb decisions. You buy a car. You get an apartment you can't afford. I get that. This 5 years, you're 35 years old. You're about to enter into another till death do us part relationship, this time with a kid. Like, what hack are you looking for, man?
I don't know because I have only $2,000 in savings. So
okay,
I don't know if
here's what I want you to do, all right? You have to decide that getting this debt paid off is now a matter of life and death, because this crap, this misbehavior on your part has stolen your life.
Literally.
Yeah. And it's stolen your peace. And I want my life back. and I want my peace back, and I'm willing to do anything to save my life. Like the doctor just walked in and said, you know, you're 100 pounds overweight. You're about to die of a freaking heart attack. You got this, this, and this, and if you don't drop the weight, buddy, you're dead in a year. You know what you would do? You would drop the weight, buddy. Nobody have to talk to you about how to be disciplined. You'd be scared out of your freaking skull, and you'd drop the weight, right?
Yeah.
So get scared out of your freaking skull. And quit. You're hovering around this emotionally as if it's something that is just out there detached from you. Like discipline is going to fly in and light on your shoulder like a bird. It's not. You're going to have to just look up and go, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I've had it. I'm not living like this anymore. You got to get that thing, that roar coming up from inside of you, and then you don't care what your friends think, and you will work 6 jobs throwing boxes at night while you make 105 during the day, and you'll sell this stupid butt Mercedes. Mercedes should be driven by rich people, not broke people. And so what were you even doing on the lot? That doesn't even make sense. So you got to start talking to yourself like that, okay? And go, no more. I'm not doing this crap anymore. I'm 35 years old. This sucks, and I'm not going to do it anymore. That's where discipline comes from, is a healthy level of disgust. When the pain of the situation you're in exceeds the pain of change, your butt will change. And until then, it won't. But this pain is emotionally manifested, meaning you just decide, I'm sick of this. And until you are, you're just going to wander around in circles chasing your tail like you've been doing for the last 5 years. And that's any of us, man. We all do that. You know, I've told the story 1,000 times now. It feels like during the Fauci pandemic, I ate every donut in a 50-mile radius. I looked down and they were hanging on the front of me. And I went, this is ridiculous. A fat man is on the radio talking about discipline. I've got to drop the donuts. And you know what? Hadn't had a donut now since the Fauci pandemic. And I walk or run every morning. This morning I did 2 miles. Yesterday I did 5 miles before I came to work as the sun was coming up, because I decided I wanted to do that more than I wanted to be fat. And so I decided to lose it. And it's a decision. I got disgusted with myself.
Yeah, and I can't communicate this strongly enough. There's not a 5-step program to discipline. There's not a super hack. There's not an app. You have to decide. And I'm not next Friday. I'm going to start right now. That's when it starts. That's when it starts. And hey, hang on the line. I'm going to send you Financial Peace University. I want to send you the videos, and you got to commit to watching them. And I want it to seep in. You're in your parents' house. You're 35. This is your ticket out, brother.
But here to be disgusted about.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
There's a lot to be disgusted about. So
Today.
Get disgusted. Now. Urgent. Create your free every dollar budget today. The simplest way to budget for your life. Bob is in Minneapolis. Hey, Bob, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. So my question is, I came across this opportunity to buy a multi-family apartment building.
Cool.
In a prime location. I'm very tight with my money, and I'm constantly trying to come up with different ways to make more money aside from my full-time job as a licensed electrician.
Mm-hmm.
The only debt I have is on my house, with $75,000 more to go.
Mm-hmm.
The price of the apartment will range anywhere from $1 million to $1.5. The bank has approved me and my partner on this deal and is contingent on the rent roll. I know you guys like to pay cash for things, and so do I. We only have about 10 to 15% for a down payment. I'm just an average guy that makes $75,000 a year and really want another source of income. Do you think this is too much debt to take on? Also, if you were me, how would you tackle this process if I were to go through with this deal?
Okay.
And we plan on using the positive cash flow to pay down the debt on that pretty aggressively. Couple things on top of that.
Well, I can stop you, okay? I'll stop.
Okay, yep.
Let me just stop you. You gave me enough information, and Here's the thing: you got the fever really, really bad.
Yep.
And I've had the fever. How old are you?
27.
Okay. I was 28 when I filed bankruptcy from doing deals like this.
Okay.
Exactly like this. And this deal is a bad idea. It's a bad idea because you're going to have a partner, and you don't need a partner, number one. It's a bad idea because you're going to get in trouble with a partner, and he's going to leave, and then you're going to be left holding the whole bag. Or he's going to start doing drugs, and you're going to be left doing the whole bag. Or he's going to get a divorce and move to Montana, and you're going to be left holding the whole bag. Or whatever happens to stupid butt partners, you're going to learn the hard way. The only ship that won't sail is a partnership. The second thing is that mathematically, when you've leveraged this thing as high as you've leveraged it, dude, you got no wiggle room here. If you get a 20% vacancy, this thing will bankrupt you. It won't carry itself because it won't service the debt. You got to keep it completely full and operating like a maniac with a 15% down, an 85% leverage position, 85% loan to value. You can't keep this thing cash flowing. So no, you're not a buyer for this. This is not an opportunity for you. This is a nightmare. I don't know if I can talk you out of it because you've got the fever so bad I can feel the heat coming off your forehead.
I know. I feel like I need to do something.
You don't. Yeah, you don't. But don't do something desperate and stupid, okay? Because this has got so many red flags on it. Now, someday I want you to own some rental property that you pay cash for. I did deals like this. I owned $3 million worth, and when I was 28, I was bankrupt with a brand new baby, a toddler, and a marriage hanging on by a thread. I don't want that for you. And you're not just an average guy making $75,000. You're a guy that makes $75,000, and you're 27 years old, and you've got the ability to earn some money, build some wealth, and own some paid-for real estate in the future. And then it won't own you, and you won't have a partner screwing up your life. And I don't know if there's any amount of words I can say while I have you on the phone to keep you from doing this, but if I could say them, I would right now. So there is no equation under which, if I were you, I would do this. Your mathematics are out of whack on this. You don't know what the flip you're doing. I own hundreds of millions of dollars worth of real estate, and believe me, you have vacancy, you have legal costs, you have people that don't pay and you have to remove them, you have people that beat their wife and you have to remove them because they're in jail. You have all this crap that happens when you own a multifamily like this, and the heat and air goes out and it's $25,000 and you don't have any money. And then the roof starts leaking. And then Codes comes by and says, that way you did the parking lot? I didn't do the parking lot. The last owner did. Doesn't matter. You got to spend $60,000 redoing that, or we're going to shut the whole freaking place down. By the way, your electric meter that you've got on this thing, it's now antiquated, and the electrician says he won't work on it because it's dangerous. That's going to be $26,000. See, this is the crap that they don't tell you about when they say your renters are going to pay it off for you. Your renters aren't going to pay it off for you. You're going to pay it off, or you're going to go bankrupt in the process of trying to hold on this thing. So, hope I said enough.
Well, I'll hold my beer, Dave. There's the math consequences here. Let me tell you what else is going to happen. You're not going to sleep. You're not going to sleep for years because that brain that is so desperate to get a second income, is also going to be the same brain that's going to recognize you are no longer safe. You're no longer in control of your destiny. If you get laid off, everything collapses. Your relationships are going to suffer. Don't do this. You're worth more. You're worth a non-anxious life, man, and this is not it.
So NPR, somebody sent me the link today. I guess it was our producer, James, sent it. NPR, Stacy Smith, a writer for NPR, has a full article about a young lady paying off $18,000 worth of credit card debt, not making a lot of money, as a journalism living in Brooklyn. And she did this new craze that is sweeping the nation. Apparently Gen Z has has a brand new fad out called cash stuffing.
It's a TikTok craze.
Living on cash on the envelope system. It's called cash stuffing.
Such a new concept.
Oh, it's brand new. Just came out. The TikTok guys just figured it out. And so it's fun, though. I'm glad she did it. So she learned how to do the envelope system. I heard about the envelope system 36 years ago the first time from a guy named Larry Burkett, and I have a collection of antique envelope systems from the 30s, the 20s, the 40s, and the 50s. It was quite the thing. There was little envelope systems like Rachel Cruz's wallet, had the red wallet that we have in the store right now, all the colors, but the brand new red one also. It has pockets in it that you label with categories in your budget, and some things in your budget. From the very first day I started teaching this, Larry Burkett stole it from your grandmother. I stole it from Larry Burkett and your grandmother. We've been teaching people to do the envelope system, which now is called cash stuffing, if you're a cool Gen Z TikToker. So that's how that works. And so here's how cash stuffing, now that I know what you call it, here's how the envelope system that we've taught for 40 years works. It's pretty simple. You have some categories in your budget, and they should be mostly, if not all, categories of things you spend when you are not paying bills. You're away from your desk. You're away from your home. So a grocery store could be car gas, could be entertainment budget. It could be restaurant budget. And I do recommend when you first start your budget, separate restaurants and groceries because it'll make you realize what you're spending on restaurants. And so what we taught people to do, and we still teach people to do this, I just didn't know it was cool again. I mean, if you keep your clothes long enough, they come back. Just ask James. I mean, it's come back from the 90s, right? So, but so the idea is I'm going to spend X number of dollars for this pay period on groceries. I'll make up a number, $500, $400, whatever the number is. You actually get that much cash out of your paycheck and put the actual real dollars into the envelope marked groceries, or in the Rachel Cruz envelope system, and you label it groceries. And then you don't buy any groceries except out of that envelope. And you don't buy anything out of that envelope except groceries. It makes you keep your categories clean and true. And oh, by the way, when you are out of money in that category, stop buying. And so this young lady goes to the grocery store in this article with $46 in the grocery store. $46 cash.
For the week?
Apparently.
Or for the month?
No. It's for the week.
Okay.
And I believe. I
was like,
have to go back and reread the article.
Budget. That's being
but she's like, I have to stay away from the fancy olive oil aisle because I really yearn for that stuff, and I'm not going to get it. And she's buying day-old bread and gets a whole thing, a loaf of bread, and she's like, okay, that's 20 slices. That means I get 10 peanut butter and jellies out of that. And so, and she's going down $2.36, 80 cents, $6.38. And as she's walking through, she knows she can't go over $46 because that's what's in her food envelope.
Well, and it feels different when you're spending cold, hard cash. Like when you actually are handing over something in that transaction that you don't get back, there's an emotional attachment to it.
Well, the studies have shown, and one of the best studies was done at MIT, and they were studying the brainwave and the brainwave activity. And when you spend with real cash, it activates the pain centers of the brain. When you spend with plastic, nothing, no brain. But but anyway, no, I mean, it's just dead. There's no, but in other words, you have an ouchie moment when you spend cash because you have a realization. And you're right, Rachel Cruz pointed out years ago, and I had never thought of it, but she and I were doing an event together, and she pointed out when you hand, you think about when you were a kid, if you wanted to trade one of your toys to another kid for their toy. So there's a trade, there's a transaction. You give them yours, that you don't get it back. They give you theirs. And so that's what happens with cash. We hand over president faces and we leave with a loaf of bread. So there's a transaction. There's a handing. You give up something and you leave with something. Visually, that doesn't happen when you spend with plastic. You give them the plastic, they hand you the plastic back and the loaf of bread. There's no transaction visually, to your point earlier. And that sounds so primitive, but it activates those parts of the brain, and you have to understand personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. So when you put systems in place that help you manage your behavior, it's a life hack. You're cutting a corner and making it work.
Well, and that's part of, when people say, I can keep credit cards and I pay them off every month. I'm not going to argue with the people who say that they can do that, but do you spend more when you do that? Do you not have that pain center go off? Like, if you were actually spending cash, would you be a little bit more hesitant to buy that extra shirt, to buy that extra purchase that you maybe don't need?
Well, studies prove that you spend 12 to 18% more using plastic than using cash. I mean, we've got tons of research on this. This is not a new phenomenon. And in the digital world, we call it friction. The easier it is without realizing you spent money, without too many steps, then boom, you hit the PayPal, cling, boom.
Oh, Amazon.
You click on, your card is already on file, and you just click buy. And there's no recognition that money's actually spent. The weird thing is the studies also show that when you use a debit card versus a credit card, that there's more physiological reaction, recognition. I better have the money in that account, otherwise I just bounced a check when I use my debit card, right?
Yep.
Otherwise I've just gone into overdraft. And there's a physiological recognition of that in your body and in your brain versus when you lay the plastic down, you're just like, we'll figure it out later.
Mm-hmm. I think now, too, it's like the temptation keeps getting even higher because we've got Venmo where you can just transfer money so easy. A friend's going to be like, I'll pick up dinner and you can just send them money. We've got Amazon where it's one-click ordering. It's like everything. It's getting so easy to spend. So it's like even if you're using a debit card, I think it's getting more and more important to create boundaries around your spending so that you feel it, so that, even if it's an easy transaction, there's a little bit of pain or a little bit of boundaries to keep you in line.
Here's the other side of the equation. Retired school teacher, retired Methodist pastor, $3.7 million net worth December of 2021. We're debt-free multimillionaires drowning in a cosmic ocean of grace. Giving is the most fun we can have, not involving fat, sugar, or chocolate.
I feel like we're speaking to ourselves.
We're childless, but we have 16 kids that we support, so we have 16 children. Very cool. See, that's what happens when you stuff cash. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Up next, we have Kevin in Huntington, West Virginia. Hey, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hello, how can we help?
Okay, I'm not very familiar with your all's stuff. I've kind of just started watching some of your highlights and stuff on YouTube recently, but enough to get a basic idea of like the debt snowball stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten myself into a little bit of a bind. Like I'm not drowning yet.
Okay.
But I kind of see that if I keep going the way I'm going, I've kind of just been jumping from crisis to crisis and juggling everything and making it work for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of see that if I stay on that path that I'm going to be drowning before too long.
Okay. So Kevin, we're up against the clock a little bit, so I want to make sure we get to your question and situation. So how much debt do you have?
I have 63,000 total.
Okay.
47 of it is between cars. 2,900 of it is credit consumer debt.
Okay.
I have 9,000 student loans and 3,800 in collections.
Okay.
Some of the credit, some of the consumer debt is like like Rent-A-Center kind of stuff, like weekly payments.
Yep.
And my question is, those aren't necessarily the smallest
You know what,
But the
Kevin?
way
I'm going to
looking at it-
I'm going to keep you on hold for a second. We're heading into a break, a hard clock. So if you'll hold on the line. Okay, so as we were talking, you were saying some of your consumer debts. I think of the $2,900 that was credit cards is also. You were saying, was it furniture from Rent-A-Center?
Yeah, like stuff like that, like a bed. I had to buy tires for my truck, and I financed it, weekly pay, kind of stuff.
How much of it is that?
About $3,000.
Okay, and what does that amount to monthly?
Well, it's weekly pay.
Okay, weekly.
Each one of those comes out weekly. The cheapest one is $21 a week. The other one's $30 a week. The other one's $74 a week.
Can you give it? What happens when you give back the Rent-A-Center stuff? Like, what happens if you're like, I don't want to rent it anymore?
Nothing. They just get it back.
So the payment's the payment. You can't say I don't want to rent it and get out of it.
No, no. I can take it back, and I just don't have that stuff anymore.
So
and don't have the payment.
The tires I couldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't have the payment anymore.
Right.
Okay, I would go through and go, what can I give back? Like, obviously you need tires on your car, but is there a way that we can save up some quick cash and get you the tires you need and get? Because I want you to get out of that as quickly as possible. Because the interest on that, I'm sure, is not great.
No, it's not. And that was my question because I've recently got a side hustle. I got a job basically to do nothing. I'm on call for a wrecker service where if I get a call, I have to go out and work, but it's overnight and I usually don't get called, and it's $300 a week. And I can get out from under, like the one is $206, so I could pay it off the check, and that I'm out from under that one, and that frees up $21.32 to roll into another thing with the debt snowball.
Yeah, for me, things like Rent-A-Center, that's akin to like payday loans and stuff. It's really just scraping the bottom of the barrel. So I'd want you to get that stuff clean. And honestly, like I said, I'd be looking and going, what can I just give back? And if you're making $300 doing this wrecking service, how quickly can you save up what you need for tires, baseline? You know what I mean? And just get yourself back on your feet in that way. And then you've also got this debt and collections. And so the way you listed it out, $47,000 in cars, $29,000 in credit. I want you to go through even further with a fine-tooth comb and really list each debt in order from smallest to largest, because that's going to give you not only a clearer picture of truly what's going on, but it's going to break it down in a way that you can, like you just said, hey, this one is for, $2,000. I can tackle that. And it's going to help you see it in its smallest form, so that okay, like, what is it going to take? How many hours do I need to do? Okay, I can pay that one off. And you're just going one by one, line by line.
Yeah, for the cars, Kevin, how much? You said $47,000 for cars. So how much is each car?
For my truck, it's $700 a month.
Or what's like the total loan? Sorry.
$22,000.
22 for your truck. Okay, and what's the next car?
Yep. My wife's SUV, it's $24,300.
$24,000. Okay. And then $2,900 on credit cards.
Yes, that's including the
rental centers.
That's right. You were saying that. Okay. Yep. So yeah, if you'll break those out per credit card, per Rent-A-Center.
$700 on one, $300 on another, $1,000 for a bed, $500 for my tires, and $200 for a computer.
Okay.
Then, like, if I paid off the computer with the check that I get today.
Yep. That's exactly right.
That's good.
And $9,000 in student loans. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then some in collections. $3,800.
What's your income? Like you and your wife's combined income?
Combined, our take home's of just over $100,000.
That's the take home. Okay, good. So $63,000 in debt, $100,000 take home. There's a part to this where I go, okay, what would happen if you guys lived on $60,000 and you're going through this? You've got $40,000 just in your money that you can put towards this every year, plus
$300 a week side hustle.
The side hustle, and your wife getting a side hustle. When you look at it like that, you realize, Kevin, that you can knock this out fairly quickly.
18 to 24 months.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that was why I called, because like the debt snowball, I think it's the list smallest to largest, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Take on the small. And like some of these weekly payments aren't smallest, but if I the weekly payments first and got them paid off really quick. That has me paying like $2,500 a week towards the $2,500 a month towards the next.
Well, the smallest to largest is not the payment size; it's the size of the debt, the total debt.
Okay. Okay.
So you look at like you said with those Rent-A-Centers, I think you said one of the total debts was $200, one of the total debts was $300, right?
Yeah.
And
so those would be my smallest.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was thinking payments.
Nope, by the balance, by the full
amount.
balance.
And you want to stay current on everything.
That's right.
So you'll stay current on all the payments, pay off that smallest. And then, Kevin, you guys, you and your wife, because, even just this picture of the debt, this isn't to shame or embarrass you, but, it's a picture of like, this is normal. Like, you guys were just kind of doing what you wanted, and you make great money, and you're probably feeling like, how are we broke? Like, how do we feel like we have no money? And we have to go to Rent-A-Center for our furniture when we make $100,000 a year combined. Like, this shouldn't be like that. Yeah, this is not how it should be. And so as you guys start this process, Kevin, I would really encourage you to lean in when you start to feel these wins, because I would bet you, Kevin, that you guys may look up at the $24,000 SUV and be like, man, could we sell it for $26,000, get $2K, and get a crappy car for a little bit, and knock this out even sooner? Because there's a taste of freedom, Kevin, that you guys have never had, have never experienced. And for you and your wife doing this process together, it is huge. It's huge. So I want you to stay on the line, because we want to give you Financial Peace University for you and your wife to go through together. And you guys, it's our 9-lesson course. And you guys walk through that, and Every Dollar Premium. And this is our budgeting app that connects to your bank, and it's really going to help you guys list out very specifically, hey, here's our paycheck. Where is it all going? This is going to give you a roadmap to get this stuff paid off. And I think, with the side hustle and everything, Kevin, this is it. I mean, your question was, what's the best use of our
18 months, I bet.
Yeah, our side hustle money. And it's to, throw at that smallest debt amount. And as you guys start to really make this traction and this progress, you're going to feel it, and it's going to be amazing. And we're here for you. So keep watching the show and listening for that encouragement, because the way you're going to view money is totally different than how you've lived, and it's going to feel uncomfortable at times. It's not going to always be fun during the season of sacrifice, but the more you guys sacrifice and really buckle down, the traction you're going to see is amazing.
Look, and you hit the nail on the head. $100,000. You think, all right, we're doing well. Like, the average family is somewhere around $67,000. So if you are above that mark, kind of status tells us, hey, that's good, you're doing well. And it does feel weird when you're like, wait a minute, I'm buying my furniture at Rent-A-Center. Like, I can't
buy tires.
I can't buy tires.
Yeah.
And, I told you during the break, I knew this couple. They were older than us, but when I was in college, I went to their house, and I remember them saying, like, our furniture is from Rent-A-Center, and they had 2 giant SUVs that were brand new. And I remember thinking, wow, they've made it. But their situation was probably very similar to what we just heard. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. When you start to make these changes, it will show. So if you try to do this in a vacuum or in the quiet, like, you have to just accept, hey, if I really want to do this and I want to do it faster, I might drive a different car.
Yep.
Like, people might see me going from driving a 2023 Infiniti down to, a 2015 Camry. And they may ask me questions about that, and that is okay. Number one, it's none of their business unless you want it to be their business. But if they ask you, there's no shame in saying, you know what, we were out of control and we're getting our life back.
Yep.
Like, let's normalize that as the status symbol of,
amen,
I'm getting my life back and I am being a responsible adult. And when you give back that bed to Rent-A-Center and give back, the tires to Rent-A-Center, that is you being a responsible adult.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.